questions along the way, but why don't I pass the mic on to you and, tell me a little bit about yourself, your background before Kitchen Solvers.
Okay, well, I've done a lot of different things. I actually, originally, the first thing I did professionally was I had a clothing store for short men called Sakia's Clothiers. So I always said, actually, when I was growing up, I told my parents I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I've continued to do that pretty much all my life. So I actually had a clothing store for about 17 years and then actually closed that and worked development for the Salvation Army for about 5.5 years doing development work. And then I actually did development work for Cedarville University. It's a Christian school not far from here for about, I forget, 7 years or so. And then I actually hurt my back and I had a real estate license out of college too. And I sold one house and that's all I did. And then I went in and started my own business, selling clothes and all. So when I hurt my back, my parents were always into real estate, had rental properties. My dad built the house that I grew up in that I mentioned earlier. And I've always enjoyed real estate. So I decided I was about 50 at the time, which seems to be the age where a lot of people were thinking of franchises around that age. It seems like it's kind of like, okay, I'm tired of working for someone else. I want to be my own boss. And my kids were basically out of the house. So I'm like, well, I feel like I have one more opportunity to start a business again. What would it be? So I actually went and got reinstated my real estate license. And then a friend of mine that's actually a broker for franchises said, you ought to look at a franchise too, that maybe that would parallel with a real estate license. So anyway, with the research that I did with him, it seemed like kitchens, being the heart of the house, being the most important room, was a good opportunity. And through the years, I had helped my parents renovate their rental property and enjoyed that too, and actually flipped a couple houses and then helped some people with their houses. So I'm like, I could actually maybe do this for a living. And through that, I actually was able to get some good electricians and plumbers and, build a network of good people that could do a lot of the work. So anyway, I did some research and found that Kitchen Solvers actually was a good fit for me and started that in 14, was doing real estate along with it at the time. And then as the kitchen business has grown, I've really backed away from my real estate and just doing kitchens pretty much now. So,
or can you give me an example? I know everybody's going to have one. What's your best moment with, that client satisfaction? Was there something where there's just like a god awful kitchen and you transform the heck out of that thing?
Yeah. Actually, I got a picture of it here somewhere. I'm going to show it to you if I can find it.
I want to see it.
Okay.
Brad is being modest. He does beautiful, beautiful kitchens.
So
a lot of the kitchens on our marketing collateral.
Oh, so I can see.
That's the before picture of this kitchen. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. So they actually contacted us. This was, they had a lot of bad experience with contractors. So I'm going to give you the background first before I show you the finished product. So they actually contacted us and were very apprehensive of doing anything. They basically nothing worked in this kitchen. I mean, everything was broken. it was disgusting. I mean, they didn't use it because it was, I mean, you could tell because they hadn't cleaned it. I mean, it was just like really bad. They just wanted to update it. They knew they had to rip it out, but they wanted to update it so they could sell the house, basically. So we did a design. We ended up doing the kitchen as we were doing it. She'd come home and she'd walk in the garage door, which goes right into the kitchen. And I wasn't there at the time, but our guys were there, and they said she would just, get very emotional about it. And so anyway, this is the final product.
Wow.
So
Wow.
she
Heck yeah. That's a beautiful kitchen too. Oh my gosh. I want that.
so now she said, we're never leaving now. This turned out better than we ever, dreamed. So she actually did a video too for us. So, but
Did they really stay in the home?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
They're not moving now. So they're like, no, we're never moving. There's no reason. We're never going to have a better kitchen than this. So why should we move? So.